And your live show really don't phase me. I bust shots in the crowd and the freeze reload.
Hello! The only thing I could think of was liberal cum, like shaking his hand. And I was like, well, gross. Been there, done that. Do you know what I mean? $10, $10. Bus ride to Skokie. All right, long night. I had to get there. It didn't mean anything. All right, listen, you guys. I didn't know I could get civil union until just now, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have been excited about this. I am, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like, oh, it's not 2004, is what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of been there, done that. Like, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I got distracted. I rode my bike here and I got very distracted. I'm also really excited because I can ride bikes comfortably again. Like, it's warm. Like, I don't have layers of coats on. You know, like, my backpack's not as heavy because I'm not carrying on, like, 5. Anyways, whatever. I'm riding my bike here, and this guy is on his phone. He's pissed. He's like, where you is? Where you is? Yo! Where you is? 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 And I was at the stoplight and I was getting so frustrated. And I was like, where you at? It's where you at? Where you at? And, which is also incorrect because it's where are you? But I was just like so frustrated. And then his response was, shut up, little bitch! And I was like, uh-oh. And I zoomed past here. But I would rather take the words little bitch to what's up, big girl, that I heard in Wrigleyville 2 weeks ago. Because I have self-esteem issues. So really, I was like, thank you! So I feel so pretty. I feel so pretty right now. And I was like, why would I take, that's so demeaning. That's like little bitch. Shut up, little bitch. She just like told me on my bike. I was like, well, I feel better. But then I kind of know the answer. It's because I consciously sat near those cookies. Like I saw those cookies. I was like, I'm going to sit near those cookies, but I'm going to sit far enough away so it doesn't look like the fat girl at the table with the cookies. But I could easily reach over. And as people were talking, I was like, yeah, I should go sit. I'm really taking this. Oh, is this real? This is homemade. Who made these, by the way? Hey, you made these. I saw a point. I was like, this couple made these and brought them. These are delicious. Are they homemade?
Yes.
How many of you have these cookies? Get up on those cookies is what I'm saying. I also made my penis. It's Halliburton because it dominates everything. And it's always in the news. Do you know what I'm saying? She's always around. Here's something that happened. Fear Factor, the television show, happened. Do you guys remember Fear Factor?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Some of you do, and some of you don't. Fear Factor was not necessarily a reality TV show, but in a relationship, that would have been the red flag to get out before your relationship turned into a reality TV show. And what it was a show of 3 segments. First segment, I don't remember, not that important. Second segment was the eating segment. You ate roaches, spiders, snakes, a shark, jellyfish, stingrays. Oh my God, disgusting, pig bile. Third stage in Fear Factor, you walked through snakes, cockroaches, spiders, eels, stingray, pig bile. And then you went home with like $10,000. Like it wasn't even a lot of money. Like that was Fear Factor. And people watched Fear Factor, and that's just like it wasn't just like a 1-season thing. Like it happened for a while, and like I don't remember like where I was when 9/11 happened, but I remember where I was on Tuesday nights and where I needed to be to watch Fear Factor. Like that's so gross. Like I'm pretty sure like that's pretty smart plan by the Tea Party. Like okay, so we're gonna launch this attack on lower middle class America. A show called Fear Factor. You guys with me? I don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna have a show consisted of 3 segments, basically where people eat pig bile on national television, and then a couple years later, we're gonna have a presidential campaign about people that we see on TV. So when people see Donald Trump, they're like, "Hey, I know that man from TV." which I think is you know, like, if Donald Trump was president, at least he could be like, you're fired, because we're all unemployed anyways. Oh, man. Sometimes you guys talk about stuff at this show, and I'm like, what are you saying? Who are these people? I don't know. I don't know. I know when I need to be at work. I know that those cookies are delicious, and I know that I'm here. Here's something that I was really scared of. I wrote Little Bitch just a few minutes ago, so I was like looking at my notes. I started finding bumps on my tongue, like after a breakup. And I had a bump, and it went away, and I didn't think of anything of it. I was like, it's fine. I probably burned my tongue on soup. I rarely eat soup. Maybe I ate soup. I ate it too quickly. I got a bump. About 2 weeks later, I got another bump, like a blister on my tongue, and then I got another blister a week after that. So it was like blister, and then it would die down, and then another blister would pop up in another part of my tongue, and I was like, oh my God, I've got oral herpes. So I was always Googling, like I finally got a smartphone, and I was too embarrassed to tell anybody that I think I have oral herpes. So I'd always be Googling oral herpes. I was always on WebMD, and I was always really panicked. I would use my roommate's laptop and search oral herpes like all the time, and then I would clear the history. Like I was freaking out, and I was on WebMD. I have every single symptom of oral herpes, according to WebMD. What are the symptoms of oral herpes? The symptoms to everything. What are the symptoms to everything? The flu. Okay? Achy back. Yes, I had that. Of course I have oral herpes. Blister on my tongue. Hello? Yes. Fever. I was feeling really sick those weeks. Depression. Yes. I was sad. I just got out of a breakup. Why would I not be sad? All of these things. And I was really scared, so it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to talk to somebody, so I woke up, and I was crying, and I was like, I can't believe I have oral herpes. Like I was in my heart, I knew that I had oral herpes. So I woke up my roommate, and she was like, when you had sex, did she have herpes? And I was like, I don't think so, but maybe she had a dormant case of herpes. And I was like crying. And she was like, just go to bed and get tested in the morning. And I was like, fine, I will. So I waited 2 weeks to get tested. But I was still like frantic about it. Like my coworkers would be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, just nothing. Just like real cranky, like that kind of panicked. So I finally like got my shit together, and I went to my doctor. I'm telling her all my symptoms. And also, I had a fever because I was riding my bike during the winter, and I was actually sick. You know what I mean? Like, in hindsight, I'm like, okay, that's what it was. So I'm talking to my doctor, and she's like, oh, okay, we'll stick out your tongue. And so I stuck out my tongue, and she's like, I don't see any herpes blister. And I was like, no, it's right there. It's right there. So she's like, okay. She held the light on my tongue, and she's like, well, tell me about your diet. And I was like, well, I recently started eating meat again, and I went on a week-long binge of buffalo wings and a pineapple I bought from the Jewel for a week. That's all that I ate. And she looked at me, and she was like, you have inflamed taste buds. You don't have oral herpes. And I was like, what? Really? And she was like, yes. And I did a blood test anyways, and I don't have oral herpes. And this was like, thank you for that, because I was really like one of those things, and I was like, I'm gonna be disgusting the rest of my life, and no one's gonna love me. I see the light. Trust me, I want to wrap up the story as much as I can. It was a legitimate fear for me. Here's like the big relief and like a shitty part of the story. Big relief, I didn't have to tell the person that I was seeing that I have oral herpes. Shitty part of that, I knowingly made out with this person while convinced and believed that I had oral herpes. I used to wonder, why would you sleep with someone who had oral herpes? And now I know it's because they don't tell you they have oral herpes. I'm the reason why herpes is rampant, and I don't even have herpes. Do you know what I mean? Filthy. All right. Can I plug a show? I'm going to plug a show right quick. We were talking about Medicaid and Medicare. My mom's really sick, and my dad lost his job, so they don't have health. And they live in Texas, they don't have health care. And she was granted, what's the one that's when you're not old? Medicaid. Yeah, Medicaid. They're like, don't worry about it, you can have it. But then my dad made $200 extra that year, so they cut it. They cut my mom's health care. So she's down to like 93 pounds, and they believe she has an autoimmune disorder, and she has to see a gastrointestinal specialist. So we're raising money this Monday at the Beat Kitchen. It's called Comedians with a Heart. So it's $10, and we've got a shit ton of raffles. Basically, it's just to help my mom see a doctor and get treatment, because America's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, also, this is weird about America. People spend $110 for a basic haircut. Did you guys know this? I got a raffle today from this salon off of Clark and Fullerton, and you should win this. Speaking of haircuts. And she's like, well, what do you want from me? And I was like, well, I don't know, like some shampoo, or maybe you can donate a haircut. I guess I'll donate a haircut. She was like really pissy about it. I was like, well, just like you don't have to donate if you want, but like a basic haircut would be nice. She's like, well, our basic haircuts start at $110. A basic trim. And I was like, that's more than my phone bill. So yeah, we have that. Second City's donated like classes and tickets to their show. So yeah, it's $10 in a raffle, and it's Beth Stelling, Ryan Walker, Lisa Loretta, Mike Leibovitz, Cameron Esposito, Tiffany Putterbaugh, Bess McGeorge. So it's gonna be a good time if you guys can make it out, June 6th. Chat with me. Chat me up. Chat me up. Where you at? You ready for this? Liberal come. Liberals come. Come on up. I think that's it for me.